Only one pocket of resistance to the ruling Assad regime remains in Syria. And since late last year, Bashar al-Assad's military, backed by Russia, has been pounding Idlib province relentlessly. Now, nearly 1 million people are on the move in the freezing cold and out in the open. As Nick Schifrin reports, in a war defined by displacement, this is the largest movement of people of the entire war.
They flee by the hundreds of thousands, 900,000 in just the last 2 months. But now, after 9 years of war, there is nowhere left to run. They arrive by the truckload at camps in open fields. Others flee to tents set up next to abandoned buildings by international humanitarian groups. This is their final refuge, pushed north by Syrian and Russian forces against the Turkish border. But the border is closed, and the internally displaced are trapped.
This is our 10th displacement. Now we are getting ready to leave, but to go where? We don't know. We couldn't find a house, so now we are just taking our stuff to the countryside. Maybe we will just sit under an olive tree.
Some have found temporary homes by olive trees, but the tents are thin and the winter is harsh. And here, the only way to stay warm are flimsy sweaters, and the only fuel for the fire are shrubs.
We fled from the airstrikes and we came here, and now we're dealing with the snow. We have no heaters, blankets, or mattresses, no firewood. We don't have bread. This entire camp is poor. We have nothing.
Last April, the Syrian regime and Russian military launched a major campaign to recapture Idlib province, Syria's last opposition stronghold. In December, the regime intensified its assault to recapture the M5 highway, the country's most important commercial route. Turkish forces are in Idlib resisting the regime, and Turkey has pushed Russia diplomatically. But those Turkish troops are preventing civilians from crossing the border. And yesterday, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad predicted victory over Turkey and all the regime's enemies.
The battle to liberate the Idlib and Aleppo countryside is ongoing, regardless of some of the empty bubbles of sound coming from the north, as well as the battle for liberating all Syrian soil, crushing terrorism, and achieving stability.
They lost their homes, their equipment, and everything that they have.
Fuad Sayed is the founder of Violet, a local organization trying to provide relief to displaced Syrians. He says the airstrikes are closing in.
They are so afraid from the everyday attacks or what will happen for them if the Syrian regime came to this area.
They have been destroying hospitals while the sick people are inside them. If he doesn't detain all the people, I think that he will kill everybody.
Saleh Hawa is an English teacher. His story is the story of the Syrian war. Back in 2012, he was a hopeful local council leader who helped lead an anti-Assad protest that pushed the regime from his hometown.
We are looking forward to a better future.
But then his town, Haritan, was bombed by Russian and Syrian jets. When we spoke again in 2016, gone were Saleh's hometown and hope.
Most of the population of Haritan left the town because there is no single house which is safe right now. We were let down. America let us down.
His hope returned briefly in 2018 when Turkish troops entered Idlib.
The Syrian people see that the only savior for them is Turkey. Maybe a few years ago they hoped that America would do that.
Today, those Turkish troops are still there, but Saleh says they cannot save the people of Idlib.
Does the international community accept that all these people are killed just because they wanted their freedom, their dignity, their equality? I'm calling for President Mr. Donald Trump, please do something. Please, I beg you. Now, more than 1 million people are going to be exterminated.
The U.S. supports Turkey's military presence in Idlib and has called Russia's involvement unacceptable. But last week, National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien ruled out any intervention.
So the idea that America must do something, I just find that to be, I don't even see that as being a real argument. What are we supposed to do to stop that? We're supposed to parachute in as a global policeman and hold up a stop sign and say, stop this Turkey, stop this Russia?
So all that Syrians like Abdullah Mohammed can do is try to protect their children. He teaches his daughter that when she hears airstrikes, she's supposed to laugh. He's lied to her that they're only toy planes. But the planes aren't toys, and the airstrikes are inching closer.
The Syrian people being killed, being bombarded every single day, their schools, their houses, their hospitals. The infrastructure is completely destroyed, and nobody is doing anything.
For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Nick Schifrin.